Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about why I prescribe mostly 10 rep sets. And I'm not saying there aren't exceptions, there obviously are. I have people who do 15, 20 rep sets. Sometimes we do max effort work, speed work, we do AMRAPs and stuff on big lifts. But by and large, the majority of the training that I prescribe, both in my own training and for my clients, and I have 40 plus clients, are roughly 10 rep sets, right? We do a lot of 10s. And, that's something that people ask, hey, what's so special about 10s? Why do you do those? And it's not that 10s are special per se. It has to do with the benefits of the range that they are in. And I'm not saying it's the quote unquote hypertrophy rep range. That was always something that was believed in the past from anecdote. But it's a very good range to do most of your hypertrophy work, around that 8 to 12. And 10s is just a nice round, good number in that area that we can easily track and follow because we're doing pretty similar reps most of the time. Now, I want to also be clear there that most rep ranges can build muscle, right? Anything from about 5 to 30 reps, based upon the scientific literature, seems to be pretty good on a set per set basis. If the sets are taken in fairly close to failure within a couple reps, 2 or 3 reps, they're all relatively equal from what we can tell, give or take a bit, for building muscle. Another thing I want to make very, very clear, every time I discuss this stuff and I discuss 10s, I get people who send me stuff like, hey, look at my program. Do you think I could do, and it's just nothing but 10s. Okay. I also want to be clear that I don't program that way. I don't advocate that sort of training. Not something that my lifters do other than some of my rank novices. Okay. I am not a fan of starting a training session with quote unquote hypertrophy work and ending with it. I am a fan of doing either heavier work or explosive work first. And I want to be very clear on that. So if someone posts under here, well, what do you think of doing just whatever, my workout, and it's all 10s? And then they'll say something stupid like, well, I only care about hypertrophy. I'm like, well, I'm not interested. If you want me to review your program, you need to hire me for a consultation. I'm not doing it in the comments. I'm a coach. I run a business. I give a lot of free information. I give free programs. I don't review your programs. But that being said, people seem to think somehow that because I say the 10s are good, that's what they should just do. And they're doing nothing but a bunch of 10 rep sets. Well, I'm not interested. I'm not going to sign off. So let's come over and let's discuss the why 10s though. Well, because as you guys know from other videos, most of our training should be geared towards hypertrophy. It's what improves athletic performance. It's what improves strength, force production, insulin sensitivity, all these other health benefits, reduced cancer rates. The evidence is pretty overwhelming for every one of these things that the more muscle we gain, the better. Of course, that's another topic. People say, well, a person can gain too much. No, they can't. Not without drugs. Not without drugs. And you know what? The reality is what most people are thinking of is too much muscle for a given goal. They probably aren't going to do it even on moderate amounts of stuff either. Be realistic here, guys. All right? Be realistic. Sorry, $100 a month worth of magical supplements, the non-over-the-counter stuff, is not going to be enough to get you that big. It's just not. Get with the real world. But let's come over and let's talk about the 10s. It has to do with where they fit in terms of time management and fatigue management. There are downsides to doing 5s and 6s. There are downsides to doing 20 to 30s. All right. With our lower reps, they beat us up more. And that's what the data shows, right? That's what the data shows. We have research showing that 7 triples, when done only by itself, keep in mind, these are, let's just do all sets across, which I don't advocate. I want to keep that in mind. I want to be very, 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 very clear on that so that there's no confusion. The studies that have looked at sets across found 7x3 using the same weight, so well, not same weight, but same total tonnage as 3 sets of 10 in the lab produce the same hypertrophy. Okay. What else happened? They were more beat up. They felt more beat up and hurt. Right. So that's our downside to too much heavy work. That's why, again, you guys look at my stuff, how much heavy work do we do? 5 to 10% of our training is heavy. We don't come in and do 7 heavy sets, 8 heavy sets in a workout. We do 1 or 2. At least for my clients. At least for me. Then we do a bunch of 10s. Or if, we do speed work first or whatever. Then we do the volume. Because it beats you up. Now, 1 or 2 sets isn't usually not. In fact, it can help make our 10s more efficient. So there's our downside. We get beat up. What about the really high reps? They're grueling. We can't do them for everything. I mean, realistically, the fatigue that they generate during the workout, unless you are in amazing condition, doing a bunch of sets of 20s or 30s on multi-joint exercises, they just leave you so fatigued, that we can't really do anything else, right? They leave us so fatigued. And on top of that, they take more time. We start adding the math up, it's a bigger time sink. On top of the exhaustion that you feel during the workout and the psychological gruelingness of it, think about the time difference. You come in to do 25, 30 reps. All right. It's one thing if it's 1 or 2 sets. What about if it's 15 exercises? What are we adding to our workouts? 15 minutes of something? Of just extra lifting. All right, your workouts are longer. It gets grueling. You almost can't handle it on bigger movements, so you're limited to smaller exercises, which is what you see from my people. See my people doing really high reps. What is it? Like band press downs, reverse hyperextensions. Okay. Our 10s puts us in a sweet spot to where it doesn't beat us up. We're in that good spot for hypertrophy volume. There is a certain amount of workload and fatigue involved, and you have to be in shape to some extent, but it's not grueling the same way the higher reps are either. So it really strikes a good balance, and that's why historically the anecdote was, well, this is the hypertrophy rep range. Well, it's not. It's not because it produces more hypertrophy. It's that on a set-for-set basis, it's the pros versus cons, and people just noticed that over time, they were either less beat up the next day, less exhausted during the workout, but seemed to get pretty good gains if they did most of their work in that range. It's just what the anecdote observed. And it makes sense from that perspective. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.